I'll delete that. There you go.
Happy Easter, everyone, and welcome back to GSR Tier 2. We are here for pre-season of Tier 2's fifth season in GSR history. Joining me to take you through this session will be Vapor.js. How you doing, mate?
Good, thanks. Of course, we both did tier four. So last season at the end, when you fortunately didn't have anyone, which is I thought I'd come and give you a bit of something to talk
Yes.
about when commentating. But yeah, hoping for some good racing today. Of course, Thrasher can't make it, and sad after just because. But if you didn't know, sadly his mum died the other day. So we'll be paying respects to her throughout. We'll just pay respects to her throughout these practice sessions and pre-season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to this in a way, even though it's just seeing what the drivers can do.
Yeah. Good luck, Thrasher, and hopefully you make it through your grief okay. Of course, I made a tribute to it in ARL Tier 4 on Friday, but we feel your Thrasher, and we'll be here by your side. Okay, so to get to the point, then we are here then for the final time at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. We're here for the final pre-season event before of course the season kicks off in Bahrain. But this time we are doing something slightly different. We are not going to be interviewing the drivers because that got a little bit messy in tier 3, 4, and 1. Instead, we're just be taking you guys through what they're about basically, and what our opinions are going to be about them, and what we reckon they'll achieve in this season. So, JS, to look at the grid, are you excited for this season?
Definitely. Of course, I raced. I know some of these lads I've raced against them, like Jimbo, Fruity, all Surfy, Sharpie, Riles, uh, people like that. I've all raced against them, and Ties as well in ARL. There's some really quick guys in here, and of course, though it being in Tier 2 last season for a little stint at the end of the season, I know how competitive these guys are, and they've got really good sportsmanship. I'm really looking forward to it because these guys, when they go into battle, they're very fast guys. Like they're not slow coaches. They know how to drive, and I'm looking forward to this season. I think one to watch, and one of the first people we're gonna talk about is Fruit, who's on the he's on the full wets at the moment. So obviously,
Lol.
either messing about or helping out his car control. But yeah, as I said, uh, looking forward to this season and people to watch out for throughout the season. Uh, we'll just see them progress, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. As Ties, then he sets the first time in this pre-season session. I'm expecting times to get a lot quicker than that, especially because of the times we saw in tier 3 and tier 1, well, and tier 4 because I was also there. But yeah, so we'll take you guys through the grid then. So to start, we have Mercedes, and we have so first up is the former tier 3 runner-up, Fruticos Alarm. He showed some brilliant pace on the back of the tier 3 championship last time out. Unfortunately, he wasn't quite able to get to the in range of Joe and Callum in the championship finale, but his pace was very, very clear very early on last season. It was unfortunate we just couldn't move him up to tier 2 because he couldn't make the times. But now we finally can, and Fruity then he is definitely he's gonna be quick this season. He posted some very good, well, especially pole times and some dominant performances in tier 3 last season. So personally, I reckon Fruity could be one to watch this season.
Yeah, I agree. Fruity, very fast driver. I think last season really said it all about him. Fruity tier 3 he had some brilliant performances at the end of the season. I think one that comes to mind, the first Tier 3 race I ever did was Hungary. He dominated that race. Nobody got close to him. And yeah, as you said, it was unfortunate that you couldn't move him up to Tier 2. I'm sure that he would have wanted to but I don't really know about 3. He might have wanted to move up, but he probably might have wanted to try and get the championship, which I think he was aiming for at the end of the season. As you can see, USA qualifying lap, incredible. I think that was quicker than the Tier 2 lap that set. So he has pace, and he's if he could show that in Tier 2, then he's going to be a real threat, I believe, in this season.
Yeah. Then we'll move on to his teammate HGV Ties, one of our Tier 2 debutants this season. Ties, he posted some quite respectable time trial laps. That's pretty much the only thing I can go off him, because apart from that I don't really know too much about him. But he's I suspect he'll have the drive to go and score some decent championship points, because, well, of course, Merck were they actually had a pretty successful GSR season 5, actually winning 2 out of the 3 constructors championships. The Ties I reckon will definitely want to continue that into season 6.
Yeah, definitely. I've raced against Ties in ARL, as I said a bit ago at the start. Very fast driver. He's definitely going to be one to watch, in my opinion. I think an underdog of this tier. I think he'll do very well. I think FH and Lostmiss, I think they're both team owners. I don't know if it's just FH anymore, but I think Lostmiss was for like a short stint. But Ties, they've got a good driver on their hands, and I'm really looking forward to see what this lad can do. And hopefully he can perform well. He's done so Tier 2. He did Tier 2 ARL Belgium, and I think he showed it. I think he said it all. I think he got qualified qualified P. I'm pretty sure he did do ARL Tier 2. I can't remember where he finished after I had my massive incident. But yeah, he's just a quick driver overall, and I'm really excited to see what he can do.
Then, of course, we move on to Ferrari. We have the actually quite exciting pairing of KDX Breyer and Striker XX23. So we'll start with KDX then. He actually put in some pretty good performances last season. Most notably, I think he got pole. He got pole in one of the closest qualifying sessions I've ever seen in GSR. He also was consistently in the points last season, driving for AlphaTauri. But of course now his well, you could say promotion up to Ferrari this season. I reckon Raptor's made a pretty good choice in KDX, because he is the one that definitely does like to challenge for championship points, and he will definitely be looking to build on his pretty impressive performances that he put in last season.
Yeah, he will. I mean, I haven't really seen a lot of KDX before. I think I saw him at the end of last season, but I didn't really pay a lot of attention to him, so I can't really say much on him. But he looks. I know he raced Tier 2 last season, I believe. I think, unless he might have been a reserve. I think he did race Tier 2 last season. I don't really know much to say on him, but I'm looking to see what he can do from the comments that you've actually just said on him. So I'm going to keep a close eye on him as well throughout this season. Yeah, it just needs to. We just need to settle into this and look at what can happen across this, because people like KDX and like we've gone about Fruity, these guys can really thrive in certain, like you say you got a pole lap for KDX, didn't you? I don't know where it was.
Yeah, Bahrain.
It was Bahrain, yeah. He's good at Bahrain, then he'll be hoping to repeat that, I think, in next week. But I've just got high hopes on KDX, and hopefully he can show his pace.
Yeah, we're hoping to say then. All right then. So we will now move on to his teammate Striker. Striker, on the other hand, he had a bit of a quiet Tier 2 Season 4, he never really kind of came out of his shell in terms of, well, really banging results last season. But I know he is just as determined as all these guys are to get some good results. Because of course he did score. I think he scored consistent points. He's scored consistent points over the last 2 seasons actually. I know, because I did race against him once. That was quite a while ago now. But Striker, he's a good guy to race against, and I'm eager to see how he can build from quite a quiet tier 2 season last season.
Yeah. Like with KDX, I don't really know much about Striker. Sorry, I just went there. I don't really know much about Striker because I can't remember making any comments on him. KDX will be keeping a close eye on him. I don't have anything else to say on him, to be honest, because I don't really know a lot about him. I don't know if that's a bad thing, but yeah, I'm just hoping to see what the Ferrari boys can do, because I'm pretty sure this could be a strong lineup this season.
Yeah. So then, unfortunately, we don't have either of the Red Bulls in tonight, which is a little bit of a shame. But we'll go through them anyway. So the Red Bull lineup this season, is SSR Hamilton and Feta Cheese. So we'll start with SSR Hamilton. He actually put in some pretty good performances at the end of last season. He came in about mid. He went away from GSR for a while. He used to be called GSR Hamilton, but now he's called SSR Hamilton. And he went away for a little bit, for about a season. Then he arrived about mid last season, and he put in some really good performances. For instance, in, I think it was USA. USA is the one that sticks out to me. I can't remember too many of his results, but I definitely know he was in the top 5 a few times. So provided the fact he has built on his pace this season, I've got high hopes for SSR Hamilton, and I'm again like Striker, I'm eager to see how SSR Hamilton can do when he's finally given a now he finally has a full season to prove himself in GSR.
Yeah, SSR Hamilton, definitely good driver. I think he likes to call himself a no-line sweat. I don't know if it's that. I think it's that. I know Harrison pretty well. I think we did a couple of weeks ago. We were in a party for ABS Tier 2. He's a very nice little person. I think we all know his speed. Very active in chat. Always likes to voice and always likes to use his voice, and he's very funny in aspects. I hope to see what he can do, to be honest, because he's got really good potential and good pace. And I think is he using no line for Tier 2? I believe he might be.
I don't know, but he might be. Got no idea, but
yeah.
I suspect he might be, because he's been using no line for quite a while now. So he's actually pretty quick, considering he uses no line, because well, it's definitely more than I can say. Let me just say that. But you know, he is a very good driver, considering the amount of considering he runs with no assist.
Yeah, he definitely is. It's definitely really hard to run with no assist. I don't really know a lot of people who can go. He definitely did a good transition from line to no assist. Design, I think, in my opinion, is the most difficult one to turn off. You have to learn it very well. And Harrison, I'm gonna call him Harrison. Harrison got very good at that very quickly. I think it's shown by his pace. Yeah, I think he's gonna have good potential in this season, and I think he will be out. I think, in my opinion, he will be right up there.
Yeah, and then comes Feta Cheese. He didn't really get much of a chance last season to prove himself in GSR, because he did, I think, I definitely remember him being in pre-season in Tier 1. Surfy goes for a bit direct. So he definitely showed his pace by getting up into Tier 1, but then unfortunately he never really got to show his pace. Of course, I know his pace very well from ABS, ARL, and he is a very, very strong driver. And he is up there with the top guys in this tier. So so again, like all the other drivers, Vettel, then he has in my opinion a great shot to be within a chance of the championship this season.
Yeah, Vettel. I think we all know Vettel. I think most of us know Vettel actually. He's a very, very active guy. He's definitely a meme of the GSR server. A lot of servers actually. And he's just a nice guy in general, to be honest. And he's always in chat. He's always active, like I said. And he's, like you said, he's got very good pace. And I agree with you what you said about the championship. I think he definitely has a shot. Like Harrison, I know he's paced quite well. I want to forget what happened at ABS Singapore, where he went into a barrier and crashed at the same time. But I have seen his pace, and he is very strong. He's just a good driver, to be honest. Definitely in a shot of getting the championship, in my opinion.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. So then, McLaren then, in my opinion, one of the most eagerly anticipated lineups in Tier 2 this season, because well, McLaren are the reigning constructors champions of Tier 2, and for them, thankfully they are both here tonight. We have Cameron W120 and Ichishar Jimbo 22. So we'll get started with Jimbo then. He of course helped FH to secure McLaren the constructors championship last season. He did put in some very, very impressive performances, a few podiums here and there. Unfortunately, a race win never materialised, and neither did a championship charge. But if I'm honest, he never really got a chance to shine last season, simply because there was so many people that were just slightly quicker than him, and there were so many people in the hunt for the Tier 2 championship. And in my opinion, Jimbo kind of got let out of the spotlight a little bit. But in my opinion, this season is his chance to get back in that spotlight.
Yeah, I agree. This season, a lot of people, after removing the Tier 5, a lot of people got pushed up a tier, which means that people like myself, FH, who I think was already going to go to Tier 1 anyway, people like Leclerc, I'm trying to think who else was in Tier 2 last season who got moved up. Expellier was a Tier 2 reserve and a Tier 1 reserve, I think, in the season before, so he obviously got pushed up into a full-time seat. There's others as well that went up. And this is Jimbo's time to shine, because he was around just behind those guys, in my opinion. I even though I didn't race with him a lot, definitely has good pace, and I definitely think he can shine. Probably, like you said, probably the best chance for him to get a championship in GSR. I don't know if he already won one in the past seasons, but
no, he didn't.
Yeah, definitely the season to do that, in my opinion. And his teammate, who I think we're about to go on to, they've got a very strong lineup.
Yeah. So then Cameron, then he was kind of he had a little bit of a roller coaster last season, because he did have some good performances, but he did have a little bit of different performances. But in my opinion, his best result was his second place at the season finale, and in my opinion, he ended his season very, very well. He was right up there with Beebcheeb and FH. Of course, both of them now have moved on. Beebcheeb, of course, has, well, quotation marks, retired from GSR, and FH, of course, is now in Tier 1. So Cameron, then, he's the only one out of those three who are left. So if he can show his pace that he showed in the season finale consistently throughout all these races, again both he and McLaren can have a very good chance of sealing this championship.
Yeah, Cameron, brilliant driver. I think he just needs to be a bit more consistent, not as a criticism, but as an
constructive criticism.
Yeah, as like a I'm trying to think of the word, like
Encouragement.
to like encourage him, but like he's a very quick driver, and we saw in Brazil he kept up with FH, who's tier 1. If you think about that, he kept up with tier 1 drivers, which I think says it all. And he's very quick in his own right. And as I said, if he keeps consistency up throughout the season, definitely could have a charge at the championship. Yeah, I definitely think he's going to be up there. I think McLaren have got a very strong line to go for actually the Constructors' Championship, and to go maybe push for drivers for one of the drivers.
Yeah. Then we move on to Renault. For this season, they have Dan F1 Boy and Chungus Goat. So Abra then, he of course was another very quick driver last season. He got I think his one and only victory in Hungary. Yes, it was. So he definitely has the pace to get consistent. To get consistent podiums and wins, but the issue with him is like Cameron, he just wasn't consistent enough in order to keep up with FH and Beebcheeb. So if Abra can maybe improve his consistency a little bit, I personally see him going a long way in this season.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Every single thing you said was true about Abra. He's goated. He's my teammate in ARL. What more can I say? A great person, and he's got a load of pace. He's definitely shown that in races over the past season. He had some really good spotlight moments. And if he can keep up consistency, then he's definitely a contender. So on his day, Abra is probably going to be one of the quickest in this tier. And if he keeps it consistent, if he keeps it consistently and can consistently get maybe like third places, just like around the top guys, he can definitely make a charge for the championship. So Davis K's out. He's just had a massive incident at the wall, riding on board with him there. That's not going to help him.
Oh dear. Okay, so we'll then move on to Chungus Goat, the second of the two. I think they're the only two non-assist drivers in this tier, along with of course SSI Hamilton. Chungus then, he has some crazy pace. I know that for sure. He is an incredibly quick driver. I know this from both WOR and ABS, especially in WOR. He had some crazy pace. He absolutely obliterated the field in Tier 8. So he definitely has the pace to be up there, and the fact he uses no assist is just all the more impressive in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh no.
Oh, Archie's out as well. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, Archie's out. Oh no.
We've gone board on McLaren. I think it's Jimbo. Yeah. I think Cameron's round as well. He's just put it in the wall. As I was going to say, before that happened, yeah, Chungus, he's a brilliant driver. I mean, I've WR Tier 8, Australia, which I won. He was starting way down and he catched up right to me on his hard. So I did soft medium, he did soft hard. He caught right back up to him. He caught right back up to me, sorry. And if I hadn't because I didn't get a penalty, if he hadn't got a penalty in that race, he probably could have won, in my opinion. But fortunately, he didn't have a penalty. And Bahrain against Beebcheeb, TTM Peachy, who races in, some of you may know him if you're watching the stream. He was rapid and he was right up there. And I think he's definitely going to be a contender in the future. Definitely going to be up there, and I reckon he might have a dominant display in a couple of these races.
Yeah. Next, we'll then move on to Racing Point. Their lineup this season will be MNK Boy and ETSR Wallace. So MNK then, he didn't really do a whole lot of last season in GSI. He morely focused on other leagues such as ABS. But I know from ABS he's in my team, and he is an incredibly quick driver. He was right up there in ABS Tier 3, and he still is up there in ABS Tier 3, and now of course GSR Tier 2. So MNK Boy then, he could kind of be a little bit like a dark horse in this season. Maybe he starts off a little bit down there, but he in my opinion has the potential to improve, to be a real force to be reckoned with in this season.
Yeah, definitely. MSK Boy, I don't really know a lot about him. I don't know if he's racing ARL. I don't know if I've raced in ARL Tier 3 with him before. I don't remember. I don't think I've ever had any like, on-track battles with him. But he's a good driver. Definitely gonna be up there if he's shown good pace. From what you've said, I'm gonna trust you. He must have shown good pace for you to give him that high esteem. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what he can do as well as some others that I haven't really seen before, and I really want to see what they perform. Yeah, I'm really excited for this season, and people like Ahmed K-Boy. I just completely lost his name there in my head. Yeah, people like Ahmed K-Boy, I'm really excited to see them on track.
Now we move on to Wallace then. He actually made a 2-tier jump, which is pretty incredible considering. Well, he did have good pace in Tier 4 last season. He was definitely up there with the likes of Sharpie, who else? Grosjean, people like that. Because well, he's with Sharpie then in Tier 2. So Wallace then, I reckon he may have been hiding some of his true pace last season. He did tell me he's a little bit skeptical about being in Tier 2, but in my opinion, it's only a matter of time before he shows precisely why he was put in one of the higher tiers.
Yeah, Wallace. I've only really seen him when I was commentating GSR Tier 4. Of course, I did see him when I was like racing in GSR Tier 4, but like, it's hard for me really to get an impression on him. Of course, he's in ETSR, we know that. So, and I've seen him racing ETSR from the streams. So, he's definitely a quick driver. He had a really good. I think his best result was Brazil last season. I think when me and you commentated on that, I think we really saw his true pace come out of the shell there.
Yeah.
Definitely one to watch in my opinion. He said he was a bit sceptical about going into Tier 2, but if I was him, I'd just be very confident about going into Tier 2. Obviously shows that he's made a big jump, and they obviously have faith in that. Admins and admins have the faith in him to do well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what Wallace can do this season, and I reckon he'll be a big underdog.
Alright, so we'll now move on to the AlphaTauri boys. And in AlphaTauri this season, we have ETSR Jarves and Elite Snipes. Fortunately, Jarves couldn't be here tonight, but we have Elite Snipes in, and he's putting some very good laps in at the moment. Also quite some good consistent laps as well, which is precisely what you need for race pace. So, Jarves then. I really only know him from ETSR, but just from that, I know he has exceptional pace, because he is one of the top runners in ETSR Tier 1, and he has put out some, well, in my opinion, some pretty good performances in that season. So well, as with many other drivers, I'm excited to see, well, once he gets out on track, if he can show the pace he shows from ETSR and translate that to GSR.
Yeah, Jarves, as I said, I don't really know about him much except from ETSR. I think he joined this season from ETSR. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do. With, like you said, very quick driver. Definitely, usually a front runner at the top of that ETSR. Of course, part of the league of GSR. Yeah, so I'm very excited actually to see what he can do this season. I reckon he might be up there. I reckon he actually, I don't might. I reckon he will be up there in my opinion. Up there for like podiums and things like that. And I have a lot of faith in him. I say faith. I have a lot of. I think the word.
Confidence.
Confidence. I have a lot of confidence in him to do well. And I think that's what he'll be wanting. I think he just needs to carry the confidence from the leagues that he's done, ETSR, into this. I'm just on board with Sharpie. He's just set up in middle sector. This could be the fastest lap of the session so far.
I'm on board with them. So,
I'll let you run through the final couple of corners.
So then, now coming through the final chicane. Where is this going to get Sharpie then? Oh, Fruity then. He goes quickest on hards. Alright then. That's
1 millisecond between the two drivers. And that's on hards and mediums.
1,000. Wow.
That's
Fruity then. That's the type of pace we're going to see from him. I'm excited. So then we'll go back to the grid order then. Then Elite Snipes. He did put some decent performances at the end of the season in Tier 2. He never really got a chance to, well, some of the other drivers here, he never really got a chance to come out of his shell really, because the Tier 2 grid was very tightly packed last season with a slightly, well, I'm not going to say downgraded because it's not, but with a slight lower in performance from Tier 2 this season. Could we maybe see him then maybe get back up, because, well, he's posted some pretty impressive times at the moment in this pre-season session.
Yeah, looking at him throughout this session, looking very good. He's on an outlap at the moment on a set of softs, so obviously these guys now doing the transition over to a set of softs, most of them anyway. Hopefully he can show his pace, as he'd want to be honest. I'm just looking at him now on the race director. Like you said earlier, he's been very consistent. He's setting around on race pace, 1918s, some 17s as well on the some 17s on the mediums. Definitely looking good. His last lap was a 16.9, so that's very good for him. He's on a set off at the moment. Fruity, I don't know if that's a glitch. I think he's just gone a tiny bit faster. Well, I think that might be a glitch for me exiting out the menus.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
so,
I thought it was.
we'll then move on to, in my opinion, this is not biased because they are my team, but in my opinion, one of the best Tier 2 lineups. We got Alpha Romeo, ETSR Sharpie, and Archie Cyberbot. Personally, I have great confidence in my drivers this season, and I'll tell you why. So we'll start with ETSR Sharpie. He posted some very impressive performances last season, both in Tier 4, Tier 3, well, and Tier 2, I should say.
And Tier 1 as well.
When he was reserving for that, he's the first one to the 15s.
Yeah.
But Sharpie then, he pretty much, he was almost unstoppable in Tier 4 at the end of last season. He absolutely dominated the final 3 races of that season. Of course, he didn't win the final one because of penalties. But Sharpie then, he's quickest in the Tier 2 time trials. He won a Tier 3 race on track, despite the fact he was a Tier 4. So in my opinion, I have made a brilliant choice in signing ETSR Sharpie as one of my drivers.
Yeah, I agree. Sharpie, brilliant driver, honestly. He really is. Absolutely amazing. I know him, he's a good person, he's a good lad. I say lad, he's older than me, but like, very nice person to have. It's like, just to know. Sharpie, brilliant pace. I think after IS out Tier 4, I think we saw Canada he tops out tier 4 times. Well, I think in Canada, I think. No, it was Hungary, wasn't it? Hungary, he got first in qualifying. I think that was when he first showed his true pace. And he's a brilliant driver, and he's got everything that you would want. He's amazing, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. He even got a tier 1 drive last season, and he didn't even do that bad. He was P3 at one point in that race. After I think you pitted, he went up to P3, and I was behind him.
Yeah, he's in my opinion one of the favourites for the title, and I couldn't be more excited to one, have him on my team, and two, to see what he can do this season, and then we go on to his teammate Archie Cyberbot. He is back in GSR after taking a season out. He of course was in the championship fight for tier 2 2 seasons ago. He was one of the ones, along with Beebcheeb and Davis, to be a championship contender for the tier 2 season 4 title. Unfortunately, he had a little bit of bad luck, which unfortunately kind of ruined his chances of win the championship. But he is back this season, and I know for a fact he has told me he is raring to go this season, and I'm excited to see how he's going to get on.
I don't really can't make any comments on Archie, and it's starting to rain actually in the qualifying session.
Oh yeah.
A couple of raindrops there. I don't know how much that's going to affect the drivers, but I think this could be the last running that we see before we go off them. I don't really have any comments on Archie, to be honest. There's PB Magic has spun there. I don't know if he's out. I don't think he is. Yeah. Oh, he is out actually. I don't really have any comments on him to say so.
Yeah. Both my drivers. Then I have confidence in to do well, and I reckon then I'm not gonna get cocky here, but I reckon we could have a good chance to both drivers and constructors this season. So then enough balling about my team. Now we'll move on to the Haas boys. One of I'll just check. We have one of them in here of Davis 2K7, and unfortunately Beebcheeb 36 unfortunately could not be with us tonight. So Davis then, of course, as I mentioned when saying about Archie, the mic's gone funny. When I mentioned then about Archie, of course, Davis was another guy who was firmly in the championship hunt for the tier 2 season 4 title. Unfortunately, he also had a bit of bad luck, which unfortunately he just got denied of the title. Of course, Beebcheeb got that, and of course became another double world champion of GSR last season. But Davis, he didn't have the best of performances last season, but I know him. He's good at bouncing back from difficult performances, and again, Davis, I know him. He can definitely be one to watch this season.
Yeah, Davis. Actually, I'm gonna expose this. I actually went to sign him. I was gonna get him, but then after tiers, I signed him. Basically, I couldn't get him because I signed him a tad bit too early, which was my fault because I didn't read that. I messed up basically, so I had to let him go. And yeah, he's a great driver, and that's why I went for him. And that's who's Sam's Haas team leader, isn't he? Sam's got a good driver on his hands.
Yeah. And then Beebcheeb, I can't really say very much about him because in short, I do not know who he is. So,
same here.
Yeah, unfortunately, but I've heard he's pretty quick. Well, he must be pretty quick to be in tier 2. But but again, it's the excitement of the unknown. and I'm sure Sam is signing with good faith. Badders then wanted a quick mention this stream, so I'll do that. Badders of course the tier 3 driver. We talked about him. Well, myself and FH talked about him on Friday. He's looking like a good driver this season. I'm excited to see what he can do in tier 3, and of course when he gets the chance, he'll definitely perform for whichever team he reserves for. So then for the final team, Williams, we have GSR Riles and Just Dylan Boy. So Riles then, there is a lot to talk about for Riles.
Yes.
Because he was one of the runners-up in Tier 3 last season, and of course he is a former Tier 2 Williams driver. He drove for Williams in Tier 2 Season 4, and then of course he got demoted to Tier 3, which in my opinion was a really good choice because he then got a chance to show his true pace in Tier 3. He put on some really impressive performances in Australia, Brazil. Those are the two which stand out to me. He got a couple of wins last season. Unfortunately, he didn't have the best consistency, which in my opinion was why he wasn't completely up there in the title. But Riles then, I know he has some truly great pace, and he'll definitely want to build on what was a very strong but unfortunately anticlimactic end to his to Tier 3 last season.
And I think everything you've just said is why I signed him. Riles obviously is a brilliant driver. I can't comprehend how good he is. I'm not being biased when I say this towards my Williams boys, but Riles, I think everything is puts in a nutshell. He's just a brilliant driver in my opinion, and that's why I got him on board the Williams program. And that's why I want to sign him, because he's a great driver, and he's definitely, if he gets consistency up, which he knows he needs to keep his consistency up, definitely can be up there in my opinion, and he's right behind Joe last season, and we know how quick Joe is. Yeah. And yeah, that's why I signed him. Then on to the final full driver of the 24 drivers this season, Just Dylan Boy. Just Dylan Boy, he didn't really get much of a chance to shine in GSR last season because he started off the season in Tier 4, of course. He completely dominated that, and then unfortunately he couldn't really do many of the Tier 3 races because he was doing something, I can't remember what, but he then put on some good performances in Tier 3. I can remember he had a few front row starts. Fortunately, podiums and wins, they never really materialised for Dylan, but he is back this season in Tier 2, and I'm hoping he can build on his pace to maybe be up there with some of the front runners this season in Tier 2 Season 5. Yeah, I totally agree. That's why, like you said about Riles, that's why I signed him. Tier 4, I didn't really see that first part of the season last season, because I only joined midway through the season and got my Tier 4 seat. So if you go over the schedule last season, you can see I just saw Dylan Boy win, something like that. I think it's win, something like that. Yeah. I was like, okay, he's definitely fast. And Tier 3, he didn't get a lot to show. Dylan Boy, of course, he had a couple of Tier 2 appearances last season. I think the only one I really saw was USA. I think he qualified about 12th and finished about 8th, something like that. He might have retired though. I think it was 8th or he retired. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what he can do. I'm not expecting too much of the lad because I just want to help him build his confidence in the tier, and maybe as he progresses on into the season, start getting closer to the top guys. But at the moment, Dylan Boy, I'm just gonna keep progressing him as a driver and get him up to a really good level. I say really good. He's a good level now, but get him up to what he wants to achieve and what he's looking to do this season and what he wants to do basically.
Yeah. Look at that, we've timed that to absolute perfection.
Yeah, we have.
We are so goated. We are so goated.
Can I
Alright.
can I just say another
Oh,
mention to
man.
Surfy, who's just reserved, and he's got fastest.
Yeah.
I think that says a lot. 2 tenths
Yeah.
quicker than Sharpie, and that was on the same set of tyres, I believe. So that's good. That's showing good pace from Surfy. I'm very reserved actually. I'm very reserved today, so he's got Williams P1. Thank you, Surfy, if you're watching the stream right now.
You should have signed him, bro.
Oh mate, I didn't know. I wanted to get it. I
Oh,
would have got him.
man.
He's an absolute G, but like.
Yeah, yeah, Surfy. His pace has improved dramatically, especially since he's joined FRT. And
yeah.
again, it's just a shame he doesn't have a full drive because he is looking very strong at the moment. Top in the times in pre-season. I kind of wish he had a full drive, but you know, he'll get it at some point. There'll be some times where some of the other drivers won't make it, and he will get his chance. And he, without a doubt, I reckon, will show his pace and show why he deserves to be a full driver.
Yeah, I think
so.
It says a lot about him. What he's just done. I think it's very quick.
That's it then for all the drivers then who will be racing in Tier 2 Season 5. We have pretty much timed that to absolute perfection, so that's always good. What else was I going to say? Oh yes, the other thing I was going to say. Viewers, I will only be commentating. I'll be only commentating for pre-season. The rest of the commentary will be done. Commentary throughout the season will be done by GSR Thrasher. Of course, as most of you guys know, he is just suffering from the grief from the death of his mother. So hopefully, Thrasher, you get through that. Okay. So then, FRT Surfy is quickest in pre-season ahead of HSR Sharpie. Nice to see one of my drivers up there, and Elite Snipes 3. Then Fruity. Then a very impressive performance on the hards, I gotta say. Then 5th is HSR Jimbo. 6th is Badders, 7th is KDX Briar, 8th is GSR Riles, 9th is Archie Cyberbot, and 10th is Cameron W120. So it's looking like a very competitive grid, JS, and I'm excited to watch along with you and Thrasher to see just hopefully how close Tier 2 Season 5 will be.
Yeah, and I think Thrasher, of course, not being here today. I had you today as a main commentator, so I'm just hoping Thrasher's okay at this point, because I know how it is to lose a loved one. I think most of us do, or quite a lot of us do. So I'm really hoping that he gets through that. I really feel his pain in a way, and I hope he can get over that as soon as he can.
Yeah. Sharpie then, he's just DM'd me, basically reiterating what I said. So Sharpie says he's feeling really good for this season. Wow, I mean Sharpie's obvious because of your performance.
Here we go,
and Alpha can definitely push for both titles. There we go then for the banter race of pre-season.
There we go, Cameron W. Oh, he's crashed.
Oh dear.
Absolute drama at the start of this race. It was in a straight line turn one.
God.
Here we go. I think it's gonna be Surfy. No, it's not. Oh, there's
Riles.
a spun round there.
Oh dear.
Who's leading? Jimbo's in the lead. What seems this is? Jimbo is leading from GSR Riles.
Absolute scenes.
Tyres right behind him though. Is he gonna
oh dear, that's gone very wide.
Is anybody gonna do a Nico or Rosberg Hamilton? Yes, there is.
Oh,
there's an Alpha there.
HGV tyres almost does it.
Yeah.
Sharpie's then out. Almost Striker.
Leading the way so far. Is to try and pull out this
Riles
DRS
and
of
Tyres are side by side.
Riles is ahead of HD. Riles is ahead of Tyres. We can now go down towards the what now we reformed in real life for this race.
Oh deary me.
Fruity's
out. And HDV's just gone.
Oh, this is drama here in the Spain 5 lap of pre-season, and it's let the Williams go 2 and 3 here. But Jimbo though, 8 tenths already ahead of Riles. This is incredible stuff made.
Oh man. Oh god. This was basically like myself and Wallace were yesterday. Just bantering around and shit. It's beautiful.
This is absolutely drama scenes here.
Oh,
There's very close battles on the
Davison
track.
off my
Miles is gaining on
teammate.
Jimbo, and he grows him. Oh, Tyson's got a penalty. That is crucial for this race result. Now he's going to drop down a couple of places. Oh no, maybe just one, I think. Yeah, I think it's just one.
Oh god.
Riles
You
is
have
right
such
behind
dry
Jimbo. Look at
sarcasm.
Jimbo's gone wide here. Riles is going to have a run at him.
Oh, Cameron's off.
Cameron's off. Cameron's gone. His championship hopes are over. Is his career over? As Nico Rosberg may say, there's Riles now still gaining on Jimbo. Down towards his fast couple of corners.
Oh,
and
the
down to
understeer.
second DRS drone here. Absolute scenes as you come on to the final 3 laps. Or final 4 laps. About to start the final 3 laps of the race. Riles though
Oh,
still
Link
in
Snipes
DRS
goes
Jimbo.
wide.
Oh, Tyson and Elite
They go
Snipes
side by
They
side.
make contact. They leave each other room.
Oh, what a move from Ties.
Absolutely incredible stuff from Ties there. Riles is still on the back of Jimbo. Can he make the move? I don't know if he
These
can.
are the only guys not to crash.
Yeah, these are the only guys. Top 3. No, not crash, I think. Jimbo though. Riles goes fastest. This is the pace that Riles needs to show this season. You can see he's gaining all the time on the GSR Jimbo down the street. Looks like he's running a bit low in the setup. Jimbo goes a bit wide. Can Riles get a bit of a run in? No, he can't. Just a bit too far back. Riles just wants to get the DRS off Jimbo and close in. Wallace is going slowly. Oh, I don't know what he's doing. I think he's waiting for a Ferrari. Riles though, still behind Jimbo. There's a really good battle between these AI cars of Archie and PB Magic here going down where Hamilton and Rosberg had that incident. Just a bit too far back to make a move there. Riles though, still behind Jimbo. I'm having a whole stroke trying to commentate on this race.
Oh, Archie's inside a PB9 Magic.
Riles has lost the DRS. He's got it, so he's going to gain a bit back.
Oh, Banners is out.
Banners is out the race. Crucial for the
Oh, he's
championship.
crashed at 8. Oh god.
Is anybody else gonna die in this race? I hope not. Riles though, he's on the edge of Jimbo's DRS. Or has he got the DRS? He might not have there. I don't know if he did. No, he didn't get DRS, so that's good for Jimbo. I don't know if anybody else has got DRS.
Oh,
no,
PB9 Magic and Archie are still inside each other.
Please don't say that. No.
Get your mind
No,
out the
Aid.
car.
Oh,
Right.
No, Axe is going to demonetize you now. This is sad time for Aid.
Oh, Wallace and Striker are going side by side.
They are indeed. Striker right behind Wallace now. In this slipstream, Wallace has, I think he's lost his front wing there, it looks like. Still stuck behind Wallace here, down into the mainstream. He's got the DRS. Can he make the pass? This is crucial for the 9th place spot for the 2 points he's going to go off. Oh, Wallace is climbing the wall. Massive crash on the start of the stream.
Oh, Striker's out.
Season, Wallace has got another penalty to add to his collection. This is horrible.
You sound so
Wallace,
serious.
Get Wallace banned from this league right now. He's into the barriers.
Oh, he's decided to end it.
No, I don't think we get a penalty post in GSR, but still, that's going to be a penalty for him. He's ended his own life on the circuit. Graphic for the fans. Can't be doing that.
Oh,
It's
Jesus.
an absolutely incredible racing.
Oh, Jimbo gets
Jimbo,
past his
though,
lap.
He's still pulling out his gap here. He's 1.9 seconds ahead of the next car. This is absolute scenes here in this race. What can Rails respond with?
Oh, Wallace on the apex.
Oh, here's Rails. Oh, BB Magic. Oh, no. Just Rails is car retiring. The Rails. Well, this is car retiring, I think. Ties, though. Real and DRS of Surfy on the final. Oh, Ties had a massive snap there. Out of the DRS zone. It's going to be Jimbo, though, I think, who's got this in the bag as long as he doesn't spin. In the next 2 corners here. Round. Down towards the final sector here. Can Jimbo secure this win in pre-season in the 5-lapper at Spain? He's going to come round the final couple of corners here. His maiden victory, I believe, in GSR. Round the final couple of corners.
It's actually not.
He comes now. into the chicane. Wait, has he already won?
He won a 100% social race at Abu Dhabi.
His first Tier 2 race, I believe. Jimbo now, around the final corner, is going to cross the line.
Oh, it's a brilliant win.
Jimbo 22 wins the Spanish Grand Prix here in pre-season testing. Wales comes P2, FRT.
Oh, Surfy's in the wall.
2-3 for Williams. Good points on the board for them. Elite Snipes is going to come home, I believe, in P5. And that is the end of the race.
That's great.
Absolute scenes in this race. Honestly, it's unbelievable what just happened.
All right then. We'll
Oh, my voice
okay.
is gone. My voice is gone.
Simon Moore, driver of the day. What a guy. Okay. We'll end the stream there.
Yeah.
We hope you guys enjoyed all the pre-seasons that have happened this weekend. This Friday coming, then we will finally be underway for GSR Season 6 with the first round of Tier 3 Season 4. But for now, I've been your host commentator Vapor8F1. My co-commentator has been Vapor JS, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.